part of our choreography. So we are going to be starting off with our weight on our right leg. Our left leg is free. We're in our normal hip drop position where we've got our right arm up, left arm out extended. That left leg is bent. The left hip is up a little bit so that it can drop. And it's going to be that drop and release kind. So every single beat we're dropping the hip, but on every other we're releasing the foot. And this is only going to go for 4 counts, so it's just going to be drop, release, drop, release. Then we're going to pull the hand into our head, take that other hand down and frame the hip, and we're going to do one-sided hip circles where it comes up in the front, across the top, down in the back and around. And we'll do 2 of those, but on the second one, you're going to kind of use the momentum of that circle to turn yourself to the other side. So when we go 1, 2, 3, 4, you're actually going to go ahead and step across with that. Change the arms to be ready to do the hip drops on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we've got our 2 circles over here. And again, that second circle, we're going to use the end of it to get ourselves not back all the way to the other side, but just back to center. So we can think of this as the 5, 6, 7, 8 there to get ourselves back to our center. Now, my weight came down on that right when I stepped with the circle to get back to center. So I'm going to think about my left hip being free to come up. It's going to come up with kind of like an inverted Maya where we do doubles and not really hitting the other hip so that it helps us travel. So we're going to be going to our right with a double inverted Maya on the left hip and let our arms rise up as we're going to the right. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to switch and do the other side and bring our arms down. 5, 6, 7, 8. Here we have some sequences that sound like they have little accents to them, but it gets increasingly closer together. So in the beginning, we're going to do some different things, and then towards the end, we're actually going to just kind of ignore a couple of the accents. So the first one we're going to do is a big not counterclockwise, clockwise hip circle. So I'm going my left, forward, right, back, and around to left. As I stand up with it though, that's where the accent is going to come in. So instead of just standing up, we're going to roll it up. So think of that big hip circle, and then roll it up. And kind of leave your weight off of your right, because that's going to be important later. It's not important at the very next thing, but it's going to be important in a moment. So I've got my weight on my left as I rolled up. I'm leaving the right leg free. Now there's going to be another little segment with the accent on the end. So for the slower part, we're going to do the shoulder rolls. And then for the little accent, a little shoulder shimmy. Here's where we're going to stop acknowledging the accent, because it gets really fast and it would look a little bit sporadic if we're doing something and then an accent, doing something and the accent, it just keeps getting faster. So here we're just going to do Mayas with our hips and just keep them steady and not try to speed up with the little weird accents that are in there. So from having my arms here, I'm going to come down and just kind of frame my hips, and we're going to go right, left, left with those Mayas. And so just keep those going even though the music has a little bit of an accent through there. And then the next thing that happens, we're going to do a pivot turn, but we're going to make it a little fancier this time. Instead of just pivoting forward, first, I'm going to bring my arms out, and I'm going to step back on that right and kind of take my weight off of my left foot. And then step back to actually start the pivot with my right foot. So I step back on it. Now I'm going to use it to do the pivot forward. And I kind of feel like I want my hands to come back down again on that. So they were here to show we hop back, and then we pivot forward to the back and to the middle. And here's where we stop. And we are going to do some figure eights with a level change. So hip figure eights, front to back, starting on the right hip. It's going to be 8 of them, but for the first 4, we're going to go down just by bending our knees, and we're going to come back up for just by straightening them back up. And so it's gonna look like right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, back up, right, left, right, left, right, left. And on this last right, left, let's go ahead and turn ourselves to our left diagonal so that our right hip is ready to repeat that same sequence, just everything on the opposite side. So that is what our part one of this looks like. I skipped over the intro because all it's going to be is just everybody's around to the sides of the stage, and you're going to come in with an Egyptian step. And there's like 8 beats, so according to how far you have to go, you could let the first couple of them pass and then start off like on the third. You could start from the very beginning, it's up to you. We'll figure it out when we get a little bit closer to performance time. But it would be important that you end on your left hip coming up so that you're ready to do those hip drops without having to do a whole lot of shift beforehand. So let's see what that looks like.